afternoon, good evening. How y'all doing? It's the CannaSocial podcast today, guys. And I know I bring a lot of energy every time we come here, guys. And our guys bring a lot of energy. Before we get into any topics, let me first introduce my brother Drew. Thank you for coming on the show today, man.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you. Matt, once again, blessing us with his amazing presence. Our Thor of the podcast. I've seen you working out, losing a bit of weight. I like that,
Yes,
man.
sir.
I like the progression. Yes, this summer we are on Team Fit this summer. But before we get into doing anything like that, I want to know how many Americans out there can really say proud to be an American today. I saw this lighter yesterday and I thought this is kind of coincidental. I gotta buy it. I have 1,000 lighters, but this one kind of hit home. Not many people may have known. If you haven't watched the news, if you haven't paid attention, there's 19 confirmed youth deaths. Children deaths. There's 2 teachers who have been slain and murdered. And then there's an assailant who, of course, shouldn't have fucking been born to this earth. But that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a couple opinions going on here today. We have a couple thoughts, and I know a lot of us out there who have watched the news has a lot of opinions as well. I'll start off with you. Matt, let me know what's your thoughts, what's your ideas. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, who in their right mind would ever do something so horrific like this? I mean, it's a tragedy, all out, and like.
Oh wait, time out. I'm sorry. I forgot about the grandmother. There was 3 adults slain and murdered. So just so we know, I wanted to check my credits on that. I wanted everybody to know exactly what we're talking about here. We're talking about the massacre in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, go ahead.
So, from my understanding, it sounds like this kid was being disciplined by his grandmother and did not like being disciplined and decided to take things into his own action. And I guess he killed his grandmother and then, in a fit of rage, decided to go to the closest school and shoot up a classroom. Now, I just don't understand that, you know, because like you shouldn't, like, there's no reason, you know, like he had to have had something wrong with him in his head or something.
Possibly, and if that's the case, that's why we need mental health evaluations, actual strict mental health evaluations to buy a firearm. Number 1. Number 2.
So wait, time out. You're telling me that, okay.
Was it his firearm or was it the grandma's?
Yes, they said he bought it at 18 years old. At 18 years old, you can't buy a beer, but you can go buy a firearm. Right now, tobacco laws have been changed to 21. You can't buy cigarettes, but you can buy a firearm.
Yeah.
Because
now, if that gun law alone was changed to 21, like you want to do everything else, this doesn't happen because he doesn't have access to an AR-15.
Well, how don't you know it doesn't happen?
Or it's less likely to happen.
Years. But how about it happens?
Okay, then maybe it happens in 3 years. Then at that point, you make him do a full evaluation, a mental health evaluation.
Wait, time out. Guys, let's be clear on this. You're asking us proud Americans.
I'm not asking, it's a must.
Okay, so you're advising, under strong advisement, that we should do mental health evaluation for owning
If
a.
you don't,
Okay.
more crazy people will get guns.
Wait,
and then this will continue to happen.
Okay, I understand. We understand. Our viewers understand your strong stance on the subject, and you're not wrong. I'm just trying to get a grasp, as our viewers at home are trying to get a grasp. You want to be able to have, what state can you correlate to me that does that currently?
Maybe the closest, California. They're the most liberal, I think.
Meaning, no. What?
I don't know their laws though. But what I'm saying is, on a national scale, this has to be implemented.
It's not
for every state. What do you mean? There's other countries.
Name
Look
one
up
law.
other countries like Australia, like China, that they don't have any guns. Their citizens cannot legally own firearms
in
at all.
Australia, they did the gun buyback. They
bought back your guns. You turned them in and they gave you money to give back your guns.
Okay,
and since then, there's been 1 shooting.
I got a question for you. Time out, guys. We're going way off topic. We need to understand what we're doing here.
No, that's relevant because other countries could do it, but we can't. The most developed, the most.
It's relevant until you get to this bragging. Okay, it's a great idea, right? Once you get an idea, you put it on pen and paper. Name me another country that has states like that. I'll make it even easier for you. Give me one law that every single state in the United States of America has to go by. You can't say cannabis. You cannot say what? Give me the one law. You know what the one law is? The tobacco law you just said. That is the only one law that I have, my research team has been able to look up in the United States of America that's coincided, that's not changed per state, that's not, because in Florida, for example, you get a concealed permit, but you can't do it in New York. But in Florida, you gotta be 21 to buy tobacco, same thing in New York. All I'm trying to let you know is this, and our viewers at home is this. You're asking for something that we only have one law of. One, and that's tobacco. Go ahead.
So now you tell me what's more important. The fact that we only have one law or whatever it is, or protecting U.S. citizens'
What you're saying is
human lives.
What you're saying, but I'm just trying to show you.
Men,
you got to
women,
go to
and
states
children,
first.
everybody.
You got to pick a state. You got to, and you can't.
Sure, go do it in California. They'll pass
I mean,
it.
yeah, for sure, California would pass it, I think. But
And then when
like
I
how
see-
he's saying, like how he's saying though, it's every state has their individual right to their own laws, and then you have the basis that they go under, which is the federal government. But the federal government doesn't jurisdict what you do in your state. That's
No,
why
I
there's
get that.
states that are recreational, and then the feds can still come and raid a grow house, because even though it's legal, it's not federally legal.
Okay, so I told you two things that I feel like can be done. What do you feel? I change the age and mental health. What do you feel?
Okay.
What is your even opinion on this? Should any laws change, or do you
So-
think it's just crazy people gonna do crazy things?
No. I mean, this has been going on for too long. It's happened too much. I think there has to be some sort of law change. But
And what
I don't
would you
think
propose?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I think we should talk about it though, because I don't think that just changing the age would really help. I mean, like, yeah, you have the argument where it's like you have the
Of
other
course it
argument where it's like
does.
you're not
At
fully
18, you're a
developed.
lot less mature than you are at 21. You may harbor those feelings at 18. You may not harbor those same feelings towards your grandmother at 21 because you've matured.
Yeah, the male
Of
mind
course.
doesn't mature until 25. They
It
say.
don't matter. 3 more years of maturity is a lot
Insane.
better than you just came from 17. They consider you a
Child, yeah.
To the minute the next day you're 18, now you're a grown ass man. No,
Legal
your
age,
brain
yeah,
didn't.
no.
No, 3 more years though. Maybe you go to college, you get a little more experience under your belt. You don't do those things.
Okay, but do you think that it should be like a questionnaire, like an evaluation, like before you get it? Because
Yes, you need
can't-
to see a real mental health physician.
I think that would be so much, though. I think that would be way
Everybody.
too much for every single gun owner to go and see a medical physician to be able to go and purchase a gun. I think everybody.
So then you're saying there's no option. So because
No.
then they're not going to take away guns.
I think what you could do is
They're
this.
not going to raise the age, and you're saying no mental health. So again, you're on the side of every right-wing individual who says we just can't do anything.
Well, no, but so there's.
We're smart enough to send fucking rockets in space, but we can't. Excuse my language. But we cannot figure out how to stop mass shootings or selling guns to 18-year-olds. That's preposterous, though.
So, have you ever thought about where it's happened? I'm gonna give you guys 3 incidents, right? One was Columbine. Columbine was where? A different state, right?
Oklahoma.
Right.
Yeah.
You had Broward County got shot up about 3 years ago.
Pardon.
Right. Then you have Texas. I gave you 3 different states, guys. You know.
California had one.
There you go. So, but do you know? I think.
South Carolina, the church.
Yeah,
See,
that was really bad though. But that was
They
for
walked
other
in the church and
reasons.
killed 9 people.
look.
That guy was.
You can't ask for. You could ask. Okay. You can ask for a mental health evaluation, but it's never going to work. There isn't even a mental health board right now. I'm telling you, medically
Okay,
speaking.
go ahead, yeah.
There isn't even a mental health board right now that you take. I have a concealed permit and an open carry permit and a fucking weed card. Neither one of these bitches, I gotta see a shrink for. I can smoke weed, open carry gun, and concealed carry gun.
Okay.
Now,
I'm gonna tell you. Go ahead. Go. Sorry.
I just want you to understand this. You're not saying what's wrong. You know what could be fixed, Drew? What could be fixed? The reason why I was showing you guys the different states was, and I'm happy that you broke down the church. I'm happy that you broke down the school because of this. That guy who, which we may name was, anytime I show, I would never name a fucking pathetic piece of person like that. I truly feel that, you know what could have changed? Was having a school resource officer there who's an actual cop. I don't think that these guys. Go ahead, Nate. Go ahead about that, Nate.
Ari for the win on Instagram asks, how do you have a medical card and a concealed and an open carry license?
Okay, so open carry permit. I went to school for fucking criminal justice. I shot out to fucking college. I was able to finish that. I started off at AIU. I finished up at the U after my wife first gave birth to my son. She was really able to help me out on the online courses. She really did most of my stuff for me. And with bounty hunter license, you're able to get a license for that. That's how I got into the weed game, because I was able to work security at a medical office that did abortions and women's choice there. And I happened to meet the owner, and medical cannabis happened to go out, and I know the doctor, and we opened the office from there. And then I got my concealed permit because there's a lot of fucking crazy ass protesters outside, and we couldn't really fuck with the protesters like that. So I got a concealed permit. I never had a concealed permit until I got a job working in the abortion field, because that's the thing I wanted to tell you. I've experienced myself having a gun outside my hip, and in Texas, you know, brother, it's an open carry state.
You can have it right outside.
Yeah, you can go.
Why didn't any of the teachers?
On your back.
But why didn't any of the teachers have those guns? Why didn't anybody else
That's a
have
great
that
topic.
firearm?
Yeah,
why
I
didn't-
that too.
Why don't we have fucking people that, hey, you know what, we're gonna raise our taxes 0.5%. Go
Let
ahead.
me answer both of your questions. A school resource officer, a lot of public schools do have that, number one. Number two, the last mass shooting last week at Tops had a security officer or guard there who was a police officer, had a gun, fired back, got killed.
Good.
So that doesn't always stop
Time out.
anything.
But you know what that did?
Maybe 2 or 3,
Yes.
one at each exit.
That's
so
still
now,
a life, though.
now
like,
when-
saving people.
huh?
His response time was different. He was able to be on site, hair a gun, call in, then go. Different compared to, and this is what I'm hoping. I wasn't there, we wasn't there. I'm hoping compared to us civilians, hearing guns, not thinking about calling 911, having somebody there, Drew, those seconds, those minutes, 19 kids died. Imagine if somebody else had
Parkland had one there. And
Dude, no, but
yes,
that's
Pulse had it, but you know what we do? We hold them accountable. But again, you asked me what we could do differently. What we can implement is, if you're a private
But
company,
that just leaves another dead person. Maybe he wins and he kills the shooter, but maybe he doesn't and he's dead
but this
too.
is why you signed for that job. This is why they put
My
those
point
backs
is
on.
there's a better way to do it, which is take the gun away from the shooter before he has the opportunity to do that by doing a mental health evaluation.
that'll never happen.
It's never going to happen in America.
Never.
I'm going to tell you why. You know why? Y'all know why. This could happen easily. If they vote on it and they pass it, Americans can't fight it.
There's
It
no whole
happens.
illegal gun market.
Okay, but dog, there's an illegal gun market now, and it's super easy to get a gun legally.
Mhm.
If you eliminate one of those, you eliminate half of your problem, or a quarter of your problem.
Do you know we
whatever
live in
it is.
America?
But wait, listen. We're gonna get down to the real reason, and I'm sure y'all know, but
I know.
why this, well, I'm sure Matt knows why, because I think we talked about this, but why nothing, when it comes to nothing at all changes with gun laws, is because the NRA has almost every single politician in their pocket.
Okay, time out. Before we get to conspiracy theory season.
No, it's not conspiracy theory. You can look that up. You can see who takes money from the NRA. You can see who takes money from Big Pharma. You can see who takes money from Big Oil. Those are the 3 biggest, what they call lobbyists in any lobbyists, beginning Walmart, all of that. They give money to politicians. Okay, they call it lobbying. This is a legalized form of bribery. I gave you money. You will vote in my favor. So when that law comes up that says change the law from 18 to 21, you'll say nay to that because I gave you 2.5 mil, and you're gonna say no to that. And they do it. That's why there's a lot of progressive Democrats coming up that are trying to get lobbying, because they do what they call grassroots foundations. They call your house, they go to your door. They don't take big oil money, big pharma money, NRA money. So they're trying to get that completely taken out of politics. Which it should be. It's bribery. You can't go to the judge and be like, yeah, I know I'm facing murder, but you know, I got 3 mil I can just hand you. Judge's like, 3 mil sounds good. Out of there. No, we're not. I mean, it happens. We know shit like that happens. But behind the scene, you can literally look up how much money they're giving. Public knowledge. And they still do it in our face.
Okay.
You know why also? Because it's never going to be their kids. Their kids are homeschooled. Their kids are private school. They
Yes.
don't give a damn about these public school kids.
That was my
That's
next
our
question.
kids.
Yes. That was my next
If
question.
somebody went and shot up a public school, a private school, or 2 or 3 of them, they might think, oh shit, that could be our kids.
Yeah,
They
but
go
then-
shoot a Beverly Hills
but
private
then,
school,
like-
oh, that could be our kids.
But then how he was saying though, if it's a private school, like I would think that, I mean, right now they would have a heightened security. Like if it's a private school, they got some sort of money. Like they can pay
Of
for
course,
it.
that's the difference. So they don't give it. They don't
Exactly,
care
yeah.
because they got security at every gate. They got 3 resource officers walking the campus. Meanwhile, we got 1 fat old man sitting at the gate in his car.
So let me ask you a question, Drew. We know that, and all of us at home know that, America's not giving up their guns. I believe you, I love you, I think that you have a great idea, but you're in the wrong country.
You don't got to give up the guns. But, okay, one last thing. This is going to be a little crazy, but what if you just limit the guns per household or per person? So you can have any gun you want, but you can only have one of every gun you want. Like, nobody needs 3 AR-15s.
Yeah, but how many guns did he use in this?
One. I understand one, but you can't. So, like you're saying, you can't. It's America. You can never take all their guns in America. So, you can never take all their guns. So, let's limit at least the amount of guns they can have.
Okay.
So now, and then if you have kids, so let's say I'm your son. You're 50. I'm 30. We're both adults. So now I can have one of each. You can have one of each. You can have one of each because we're all adults. So you can have 12 guns in the house. Still a lot, but at least we're limiting. So now for single family homes. And let's say the guy's only one with a gun. I can only
next
have
thing
4
he's gonna
guns.
say, man, I'm gonna have 2 cars. That's the guys. Next thing I'm electric cars. This guy's trying to take away every fucking right.
It just makes it easier for things like this to happen when you allow crazy people to stockpile a mass amount of guns.
America, you heard that? America, what did I say?
America.
Yeah, you heard that? You heard me talking about, guys?
America.
How can you possibly, Jesus Christ, brother? You're fighting a losing battle. You're not telling me how much gas cars I can own. You're not telling me how much fucking guns I can own. I live in goddamn America.
Yeah,
and everyone else
can
can
buy
buy
whatever.
I want to go drive fucking
here.
diesel. I want to go fucking live in a 5-star hotel.
So fine.
This is why I'm
if you're allowed
in
to
this
have all
country.
the guns you want, then fine. As long as it's sane people.
Brother,
That
listen
means
to
you
me.
gotta get a mental health evaluation to have guns.
Drew, listen
If
to
you want
me.
as many guns as you want, get a
Your
health
mental health
evaluation.
evaluation is crock shit. Because you want to know why? There's something called... I love that. You want to know why?
Crock shit.
It's crock shit. Because you want to know why, bro? I had my mental health records sealed by this wonderful couple, beautiful agency called HIPAA. So, bro, listen to me. If I do go to fucking get Baker acted, dog, I can't tell you that. It's not your fucking business. So I can put no in this paper, and bitch, I lied.
We're talking
What's
about
the
the US
difference?
government. They're gonna be able to, they'll know
Oh,
if you've been institutionalized, asshole.
Okay. I
Sorry.
agree with you.
Excuse me. It's gonna pop up in the database, dog.
Listen to me.
You can't lie. Now, you could fake it. What you could do is you could be, a real narcissist, sociopath. You can sit up there and say, "Oh, I'm great. I'm a good person." Blah blah blah, and get your gun.
So does it make it
crazy?
would this make it feel better for you if that kid got the gun from his dad or something? Like if that one gun and the dad.
Yes.
So
You know why?
Why?
You know why? Because then somebody will be liable. He's dead, but just like the other kid who shot up his school, and the parents are now in jail.
Yeah.
Because the parents bought him that gun knowing he was already talking about being bullied, talking about not liking his classmates, talking about shooting and doing shit like that. Was already training with his gun. The parents knew all that. Then he got caught in school not texting. He got caught in school looking up ammo for his gun. In school while he's supposed to be studying. When they caught him, They sent him to the office. They called his parents. She said, "I'm not coming down there for that." Then after she hung up the phone with them, said, "I'm not mad at you for that. You just need to be more careful." 3 days later, he shot the whole school up. So yes, I would be a lot happier if the parents bought it, because then we have somebody well, that kid got arrested. But let's say this kid who died, now we have someone that's gonna be held accountable for that action.
What do you think?
So you're saying like you regardless of the situation, you just want to
And
have
what
somebody.
parent is just gonna hand their kids an AR-15?
I
Now
know a
you're
lot.
talking.
I know.
Okay,
Okay, hold on.
First off,
You
I know a
forget
lot,
we live,
too.
we live in a big country. There's a lot of people that live in
I know.
other places.
No, I mean, a lot of
people that
parents
own
do
a
that. A
10-year-old
lot of parents do that. They
AR-15
take them out
and
and shoot it.
revolver.
But they're not gonna knowingly you have a maybe troublesome child and say, "Yes, son, an AR-15 is just what you need."
So let me ask you a question. So what happens when, hypothetically speaking, world, if I was an officer myself and I had a troubled son, and my troubled son didn't Baker acted already, but I'm an officer of the law.
You should never give him a gun.
Okay.
for the rest of his life.
Ever.
But
until he proves that he's not mentally incompetent or
But I'm not
Baker
mentally
acted.
unstable.
But he got Baker acted.
Okay, let's remix it. I'm the stepdad. I want to be the cool guy. I'm the cop. I'm the guy. How am I going to bond with this teenager? What do I do? And this is how I do it. I do it by doing this. I do it by grabbing that firearm. I do it by teaching him how to shoot. You get what I'm saying? What do you do then?
Okay, that's different. If you're with him, you're teaching him how to shoot, you take him to the range, you take him out to the empty field, that's different. That's recreational, you're keeping an eye on him, you're not letting him run off and leave the house with it. You're with him, you're done, you pack it up.
So
and
you're
you go.
okay
Yeah, but
with
you don't
giving
see
us
I'm okay with being
7
trained.
days a week.
Yes, but you don't leave him with that gun either.
Time out.
Pack it up and you take it.
I'm listening, guys. Let me finish, please. I love you, and I hook, line, and sinker his motherfucker here. What's wrong with this, America? So I just trained my son the whole time. I'm a stepdad, met him at 10. Now he's 21.
I'm taking my son to the gun range.
Okay, I'm not wrong. Listen, I trained that sociopath for the last 11 years, and he's 21 now.
He's a sharpshooter now.
What? But now listen, he's 21. He can go buy one gun each. He just passed that mental exam. Because again, think about this. Even if you say, puppy, you need them taking a mental health exam, do you know one thing that will never change? Is your juvenile records can never come out unless you get that shit sealed. That's a fucking fact. Take that shit to the bank.
So now, let me
Go ahead.
again. I'm not saying that if we do all of these things, it'll stop 100%. No, what I'm saying is it will drastically reduce it. So that one person.
What drastically reduced? We're talking about 5 killings in 5 years.
Listen, that one, because we haven't done shit about it. I'm saying when we do something about it. So that one kid that you're talking about, that is a sharpshooter. He passed all his mental evals, and then at 21, 22, 25, whatever he snaps, we're not going to be able to stop all of them. But if there is a 21-year-old that is not supposed to have a gun because he was Baker acted a bunch of times, or he, has bipolar disorder. Now we're not giving that guy. Right now, if you have bipolar disorder, you can go buy a gun.
Okay.
Right now, if you're schizophrenic, you can go buy a fucking gun.
Okay, but time out.
Excuse my language again.
Do you know from bipolar disorder to anxiety is in the same realm? And schizophrenia is in the same realm. So do you know that anxiety medication you take is the same medication you take for schizophrenia? So if you're telling me, like, I have anxiety, I sweat, I have sweaty palms, I legitimately have anxiety. But De La Cruz, you're telling me I shouldn't own a firearm now. That's it, because you have to understand this. Like, it's cool to sit back and be non-medical and say, hey, I want to do A, B, and C. Now,
So that's a
let's break it
discussion we
down.
have. So then.
Now you're changing meds?
No. So how about this? You can't have a firearm for home protection then. Only in your house. You cannot open carry.
Oh,
you
so
can't get it concealed.
So you can get it concealed, but yet when you out there, you about to rob my family.
Stable.
Oh, I'm Bruce Wayne. I'm dead.
No, what do you mean? Rob your family.
Think about this. I know, but think about it. I'm telling you this just right now. Bruce Wayne, so fucking Batman. Everybody knows this. Batman's dad was a rich man. Didn't choose to carry a firearm because, honey, we don't need that.
See, the thing is, I believe everybody should have a firearm.
But till 21 and pass the mental health exam.
Of course.
We're all failing that shit. I'm failing the mental health exam for sure. Don't give me no motherfucking health test.
I couldn't.
Don't give your ass no health test.
Sure.
Jesus Christ, and this kid right here, bro, think about what we're saying. America.
Everybody has mental, in little things, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the visual, the guys that are on paper bipolar. Do not give them a gun. Maybe we have anxiety, but we're not on paper.
Was that kid diagnosed with anything?
Which one?
The kid who killed everybody. That's 18-year-old. 18-year-old was this normal ass kid who lived his fucking grandma, right?
The first kid was a fucking privileged kid
All right.
who was
No.
genius.
Listen.
142 IQ.
This is what I'm talking about. The kid right
He's a
now
genius.
who killed his grandma, who has 20 deaths in his name before he died. That kid, to our knowledge, had no type of mental health effects. Had no type of nothing. Only thing is he's 18 years old. What can we legitimately change in America? What?
Well, we don't know. What if he did have mental health issues?
Then guess
Okay,
what?
but if he didn't,
If he didn't
then
have
he
mental
changed it
issues,
to 21,
all right.
and as I said, maybe that same hostility that he has and animosity that he has at 18, he won't have at 21.
Let me tell you how it's going.
Because growth, because of time, because of maturity.
This is why you're a great father.
So at 14, I was fucking breaking my room fucking drawers because I was told I couldn't go to my cousin's house. After I was told I could go, then I was told I couldn't. I banged my drawer closed, that bitch never closed again. Okay? But at 17 and 18, I wasn't doing that.
Okay.
Doesn't mean I was mature enough to handle a gun either. I was just mature enough not to bash up my room.
Okay.
You change, you grow.
No,
sorry.
You don't know me sorry. That's your opinion. I respect it. America
No,
loves
for
that.
cutting you, sorry.
No, you good, dude. Brother, you're not gonna change what America is built off these guns. You know what you could change though? You could have us spend some more money. You can have the taxpayers really say, you know what? Officers should be there in every school. That will hire more police officers. It should be, and I know how you feel.
So you're talking about raising the taxes?
You have to raise
It's gonna be
taxes.
another problem.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
the poor people in this
First off, don't
country.
talk about your zone. Let me tell you
No,
the fucking two
yeah.
highest counties in the motherfucking world. One is goddamn Hillsborough, United States of America. In Florida, Hillsborough County and Osceola County. Bitch, we had 7.8 to 7.5%. We're one of the highest in America. Why can't you give me 8% if you're gonna fucking tell me there's a cop at every school? Run it. There's a fucking cop, or if not, why don't you say this? Security cops, for example. They're not. There wasn't a cop at this school. There wasn't a trained officer that you said was an ex-cop. When's the last time he went through training? What the fuck are these cops? When's the last time an officer seen his dick?
There's one, that's what they put at schools. Like I said, they put an old fat guy who's either on his way out or retired and doing it for, a little paycheck, whatever. Look.
Now, the elementary school across the street from me.
We're talking about opinions, hold on. We're talking about opinions here. You get a girl, a guy, it doesn't matter what you're talking about for yourself. We're talking about America. We're talking about what they give out by itself.
Yeah.
There's another solution. As y'all may or may not know, U.S. Veterans, after they come out, they struggle with PTSD, they struggle with finding a job, all of this. So another person suggested, why don't we give these guys work so that, put them at the school. They're already trained. They're already trained in hostile situations like that if a shooter comes in. And now these guys aren't being homeless on the street after serving their country for 4 to 8 years.
Okay, but you're gonna put
a lot of
somebody
those homeless people you see are ex-military.
in a shooting situation?
Huh?
You're gonna put somebody who has active PTSD in a shooting situation?
I mean, hopefully he doesn't have active PTSD, but there's a lot of them that don't have PTSD that just become homeless because they can't find a job. Then they become homeless and then they use drugs and then they're out of there. Give those guys a job when they get out. Make sure they're stable. Okay, and then that goes to the point. So you don't want to give them, who've been in active duty, who's got PTSD, a gun. But as to Carrie's point earlier, let's arm teachers.
Yeah.
No.
You're not. Time out. You're not understanding something.
Kill people in their training.
Let me break something down to you. This isn't somebody just said it. First off, a person is a person first. A teacher is their profession. What I asked you, and what I asked America was, and what we broke down was in Texas, it's 18 or over, and it's an open carry state. You go to jail, prison, for over a year if you carry a gun in Texas, concealed.
That's crazy.
What I was saying was this. You're telling me that I'm a civilian of Texas, that I live in, less than X amount of miles from Mexico, I'm in a rural area. You're fucking telling me not one person had a firearm in that school? I'm not saying armed teachers. I'm saying allow people to be who they are. How many teachers have we had that could shoot a gun, that could shoot a jumper, that went fishing, that...
Of course.
So all I'm saying is that, what if we don't have the money to have a couple officers there? What if we have some fucking common sense? And we say, you know what, let's do this. Let's be able to carry out a gun. I can tell you that I really pray that these teachers now are able to carry guns. I hope the teachers coming into a new school year, even in Broward, even in Orlando, and Osceola.
So I want to
Go ahead.
rebuttal that, but I think...
Go ahead, you're good.
So my thing is, we've seen videos of teachers breaking up a fight and putting kids in chokeholds. We've seen officers who have body cam shooting people who are trained to defuse and handle these situations, and instead they shoot these people. You arm teachers and you will have random deaths because a teacher may get hit by a student and now he has a gun on him. So if the student is beating him up and maybe only intends to beat him up and not fucking kill him, the teacher takes his...
No, not on the person. I definitely think
either death.
Well, you said over and carry.
No, they have. I said a state.
Oh, okay. You're talking about only like.
I'm thinking about like a teacher is allowed to have a pistol like in their desk in case like a situation
that has like a safe or a code in there,
or like a fingerprint scan. There's like all 4 fingers type shit.
There's always ways to do something. I think proactively going with. Bro, can I tell you something in life? And a lot of people can understand this. Either you go with the wave or you go against the wave. And that's something that you got to choose. You're not going to take away the guns, but you can definitely help keep the guns, but have better solutions for people, more people that can have that.
Well, this was already... Sorry, go.
So it goes, like how you were saying, to arm people. There was the shooting that was in Texas, I believe it was like 3 or 4 years ago. It was in a church, but the shooter didn't kill anyone. He shot in the church. He hit someone, but they were already watching him on security camera, and then there was armed civilians within the church.
I remember.
And because they had armed
This
civilians.
is the difference. This is what we're going to do. I like what you're saying. We're going to leave with that on our next podcast. We're going to be able to break down the different school shootings and see how we can have been differently.
Well, this was